Good evening. Hoping you all are doing well. So I'm on here tonight to talk a little bit about the importance of establishing financial boundaries, emotional and financial boundaries. I'm also sort of just trying to figure out some things around these broadcasts. I'm using some new technology, so over the next couple of weeks I'll be trying some different things. I may look kind of, I might look kind of silly or crazy. I'm trying to figure it out, but I just know for me, the best way for me to learn something is to just jump in and do it, learn the lessons along the way, but also to have some fun along the way too. And it also gives me a chance to hang out here with you all. Kind of late tonight, but I'm just wanting to check in. So I wanted to talk tonight about financial boundaries. Boundaries are really important in our lives because they help set parameters. And it's important for all of us to know kind of what we need, what we don't need, what we are requesting, what is it that we need? How close can people get? How much can they ask of us? How much are we willing to extend? And having some clear discussions and understandings about what you need and how you express that is really, really important. And as we go through life, sometimes we have to stop, reevaluate, and pivot because sometimes people are not understanding of what we need, how we want to live our lives, what we think are important in terms of our own values. And there comes a time sometimes in our relationships with family, with friends, with acquaintances, with associates, business partners, that we have to reevaluate sometimes the value of those relationships and how they relate to the health of our overall well-being. So talking about financial well-being means really talking about financial boundaries as well. If we have people in our lives who won't support our efforts, again, sometimes just have to rethink those relationships. I'm not saying they have to end. Sometimes that's the viable solution. And sometimes something much shorter than that means just maybe reevaluating how you spend time or how much you share or how you share, or making sure that you have created a safe space in terms of how you want to interact with those people. The way to set clear boundaries is to know what your rights are and to not allow others to encroach upon your space, your time, and your intentions. It's also important not to allow people to make us feel guilty or to pressure us into making decisions we really don't want to make, to make decisions that go against our own best interests. We don't want to be in situations where we're martyring ourselves, where we're second guessing ourselves. We all have an internal clock that tells us what's right and what's not right, what feels good and what doesn't feel good, what's being true and authentic in terms of ourselves and who we are and what isn't. So it's our responsibility as adults, as free-thinking people, to make sure that we're setting those boundaries and we're being true to ourselves. So financial boundaries are the practical expectations that we have regarding our financial interactions with others. Another way to think about it is they are our personal financial policies. We all should have them. And so what I want to encourage all of you to do is to think about, what are your financial policies? How are they working in your lives? What do you need to tighten? What do you need to make clear to others in your life? What do you need to be clear about, to get really intentional about in terms of your own lives? So the personal financial policies are guiding principles for how we interact with the rest of the world from a financial perspective. Okay, got that? So I want to share some examples of financial policies that I've kind of written out, and they all begin with, I have a right to. So maybe you can say some of these things with me, or while I'm sharing some, maybe you can think about what appropriate financial policies would be for your life and for your well-being. So I have written 10 of them. And the first one is, I have the right to set financial boundaries. I have the right to set financial boundaries. So think about that. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? And what does setting financial boundaries look like and mean? Does it mean setting policies about who you ask for money, who you share money with, who you give money to, and the circumstances in which you give that, the amount that you give, when you give, why you give, why you don't give? So the next one is, I have a right to place my personal financial well-being before that of others. I have the right to place my personal financial well-being before that of others. And that's a really important one, especially for some of us Black women who have culturally gotten the message that we're supposed to give and give and give and give and give until we can give no more. But it's sort of like what they tell us when we get on the airplane. If we put the oxygen masks on ourselves first, take care of ourselves first, then we're able to help someone else. So that one is, I have the right to place my personal financial well-being before that of others. And that is, again, that's a really important one, because a lot of times many women find themselves at retirement age still giving out and not taking care of what they need for themselves. Putting their children, sometimes their grown children, ahead of them, of their own needs, when this is a time that they really need to start focusing on how they're going to get through their remaining years. So what would be the equivalent of that for you? Or does that one ring true for you too? Is that a personal financial boundary that you would like to establish or make clear? The next one is, I have a right to refuse others. I have a right to refuse to rescue others from financial problems. You know, people are just being raggedy and slack with their resources, and they know that they can count on you to bail them out time and time again, or time again. This might be a really good financial boundary to establish and put in place, or maybe to post it. You know, maybe post these around your home. Put them in your checkbook or in your planner. Put them in your kitchen where you have your goals. But absolutely, I have a right to refuse to rescue others from their financial problems. And the flip side of that is, I have the right not to expect that from other people. The next one is, I have a right to be honest with myself about my financial circumstances. I have a right to be honest with myself about my financial circumstances. If I can't be honest with myself, I can't be honest with anybody. I'm certainly not going to be able to make any changes if I can't be honest with where I am, the circumstances that I'm in, how I got there. So honesty is really important, especially to oneself. And what we know is that when we're honest with ourselves, when we're really ready to face the music in our own lives, then some change can happen. No one's perfect. We've all made some sort of mistake. Sometimes we've made the same mistake many times. But that doesn't mean that we can't change. And it begins with being honest with ourselves. And that is really probably one of the most important financial boundaries to put in place. Being honest with self. The next one is, I have a right to do what is in my own best financial interest. It may not look like what everybody else. I may not put the money I have where everybody else puts it. I may choose to do something different with my money. I may choose to use my money in service. I may, whatever. But I have a right to decide what's best for me with the resources that I have. And I have the right to make that clear to other people. And I have the right not to feel guilty about doing what's best for me. Number 6, I have the right to take responsibility for my financial future. It is my right, my responsibility to take care of the fiduciary responsibilities of my home. I have that right. And to deny me the right to figure it out, work it out, to come up with what the best solutions are for me is really denying me a chance to grow. So that one is, I have the right to take responsibility for my financial future. Number 7, I have the right not to disclose my financial circumstances to people who ask about a cash flow. Sometimes people just want to be nosy and want to be in your business. How much money do you have? What kind of credit do you have? What do you, how about this? How about that? Whatever. So how's it working for you? How much, And I have a right to choose who I share that information with, and I share that information. And you do too. Number 8, I have the right to avoid people who undermine my financial well-being. I have a right to avoid people who undermine my financial well-being. If I've made it clear that I am not going to be going out to lunch or dinner this month or this week, and you continually ask me to go, or we go out someplace and you expect me to pay for what I don't have, and then you want to make me feel bad about that, well, really, that's on me. Because if that's a boundary that I set, then it is responsibility to keep the boundary. But it's also important that I am looking at who is this that's just really not listening to what's important to me. So I have a right to avoid people who undermine my financial well-being. And that can be done in a lot of different ways. It could be someone stealing from me. It could be someone who's withholding information from me. It could be someone who is encouraging me to make decisions that I know I cannot afford. It could be someone who's really not interested in my ability to grow. It could be somebody who's trying to put me into some kind of program just because of they're going to benefit from it, but there's no benefit for me. So you want to avoid people who undermine your financial well-being. Number 9, I have a right to avoid situations that might build debt or undermine my asset building. So this kind of goes to what I was saying before. You want to stay away from people who are not being respectful of what your goals are and what's important to you. But that also means you have to share what is important to you so that people will know. And what this is about really is establishing within yourself, within your own constitution, within your own space, what's important. And once you have established that grounding, then it's so easy to share it and for others to understand it. And the next one is I have a right to be a healthy financial role model for my children, my family, my friends, etc. And that's so important. Many times people learn so much when we are acting and living in our own integrity, in our own truth. It's contagious because it's authentic. And many times, I'm sure, you can think of people who've made an impression on you just by the way they live their lives. By their being open, by their being authentic, by their being genuine, by their exuding truth and integrity in what they do. And we have the right to live our lives in that way, knowing that it's going to make an impression on others. So I'd like to ask you to think about what are a couple of financial boundaries that you want to establish? What kind of financial policies are you establishing in your life? Another one I would say is I have a right. I have absolutely a right to increase my financial education and understand the best ways to grow as a financially capable person. I have a right to have access to the tools and the education and the support that I need to grow my financial future. So think about what your financial policies are, because your financial policy is really preparation to help you grow, take control of your life and your financial future. And what we know is that the more that you use them today, the more that you use them every day, the more connected you're going to be to your money, the more connected you're going to be to your internal self, and the better you're going to become at managing all the things that you're about. And the closer you're going to be to establishing the financial future that you desire. So if you have any questions about any of what I've shared tonight, please don't hesitate to reach out to me on this page, which is the Gold Minds Group on Facebook. You can also reach me on Instagram at Mind and Mana. And you can email me if you choose at Sunya Folayan at csunya.online. That's Sunya, Sunya, Folayan, at csunya.online. I'm more than happy to provide support, information. I've got great financial management tools. If you're interested in business ownership, especially if you're a woman, I think every woman should have a business. Tax advantages and savings. If you need any help with any of that or requesting any information, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to be able to help. And if I can't provide the information you need, I certainly can connect you with someone who might be able to be more, who might be able to have access to information that I don't have. All right, so thank you so much for being here with me this evening. I hope that you all have a great rest of the week. Remember to set your odometers if you have not done so. It's the first week of January. Write down your mileage, your beginning of the year mileage, so that you can start tracking those expenses. 56 cents a mile this year, everybody. So you want to start taking advantage of that, recording all of your expenses. Start composing your set of financial policies for yourself and your household. And I look forward to talking to you soon. All right. So thanks a lot, everybody, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.